looking at household items that could be used by young kids, middle school age, high school age, even college age, to get high. There's dangerous stuff around the house. And you guys very graciously allowed me to look around your house and learn not just what you guys need to look out for, but what parents out there need to think about as well. Watch this. What do you imagine in the kitchen we might find that kids could get into, that they'd abuse? I don't mean they'd get poisoned, but that they would intentionally use to get high.
Out of all this stuff?
If anything, when you sort of think about it, what do you sort of
Maybe
think?
this stuff.
Hand sanitizer was in the news lately, and you had some of that. That's here. They got to use a lot of it, but you're right. Sanitizer is something to watch out for. Yeah, butane. Absolutely. These propellants and these aerosols, they absolutely use this. This is just a plain old computer cleaner. They'll inhale this. Oh, yeah. Glue, of course, the old-fashioned sniffing glue. And I think people are aware that these hydrocarbons actually dissolve the front part of the brain. So Freon you get from the air conditioning, glue. This is all bad stuff. Lighter fluid. You ever think about that? Inhaling that? They'll put it in a towel, stick it in a bag, inhale it like they inhale gasoline. Wow. And it causes a very intense hallucinogenic high. And I noticed you had some, you're communicating with your kids on a dry erase board. Well, some of these markers, they'll sniff these too.
No.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I remember paint back in the day.
Paint
dating myself.
No, paint is still, and for some reason they use the metallic paints that seem to like that better. Maybe there's something about the effect. They'll put it straight into a towel and then inhale it. Yeah, so you got any propelled paints, any spray-on paints, you got to be very, very careful with. And again, to keep in mind, gasoline, isn't it? They'll soak a towel in it.
Gasoline, yeah.
They'll put it in a paper bag and they'll huff it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nutty, but kids will get into this stuff. And sometimes, usually it's kids you're already worried about. If a kid, is depressed, having trouble, but sometimes out of the blue, it'll just be a kid. You'll be like, I can't believe my kid got into the, into the butane.
Happens? Do they get hooked? Then they get hooked on it. How's that work?
They sometimes, this butane, I've seen. There's actually sudden death syndromes from this, where they will just die suddenly while inhaling this stuff. Obviously, these things are flammable and whatnot as well. I have seen kids get going on inhalants and they can't stop. It's kind of unusual, and it's really hard to stop because their judgment gets so badly impaired by it. But it's not the usual thing. It's usually they're just abusing. They're just trying to get high on something. But sometimes they'll get some momentum and they can't stop. That's bad news then. So here we are in the bathroom. And my first order of business when I look at somebody's bathroom is obviously prescription drugs. In your case, you just have a nausea medicine here, which if they take a big dose of, can have some very nasty side effects, muscle tightness and unpleasant mood, thinking changes. But the big issue in most people's medicine cabinet is painkillers, sleeping medication, and anti-anxiety benzodiazepines. We are altogether too casual with these medications today. Kids are getting into them early and readily. They are profoundly addictive. Get rid of them or put them under lock and key and have a conversation with your kids about these medications. The cough syrups and those sorts of things, the dextromethorphan in there, they'll drink a couple of these and they get very high. And that's a very common thing kids do these days.
Aren't these ones you have to show your ID to buy? There's some medicine now.
That's right. Well, mostly it's this version, this cough syrup in a pill, basically, Corsedin. They call them triple Cs. And they used to buy boxes of them and take a bunch. You have to take a big dose. And basically, when you take it in large doses, it's sort of like PCP meets methadone. It's a bad combo. It's a bad combination. Thing to watch out for, there was acetaminophen, because there's acetaminophen complex in a lot of these things. You just have plain old acetaminophen here. But 8 of these, we took down 8. Any of us took down 8 right now, we'd be dead in 3 days. It can massively shut down your liver. I notice you guys have bath salts. These are bath salts. These aren't the things that people are abusing. These are actually bath salts. Right. You can put these in the bath. Your kids won't snort these. They won't get anything out of this except a sore head. That's not what they're talking about. The stuff you buy in the smoke shops is called methylene dioxypyrovalerone, which is not in this. So don't worry about your actual bath salts. They're not a big deal. Something you don't think about, this is mostly alcohol. Yeah, people will drink whole bottles of this. There's a lot of alcohol in this one bottle. And I have patients that are trying to get around being noticed as having used, and you don't smell it on the breath. Wow. Tons of alcohol. Nail polish remover. This is a common thing for them to abuse. We actually have one patient drinking some of this stuff. So this is mostly, again, something that they kind of huff.
Is it worth drinking it? Or just
no, it's going to get them sick. But this is really something that you don't think about as something that they might get into, but they do. They get into this and inhaling it. So everybody, be careful in your bathroom. Pay attention to what's in your medicine cabinet. Send a message to your kid. These are dangerous compounds. They can hurt you. These are not things to be taken casually.